Double Dragon Revive footage has been leaked, or at the very least, left on Expo floor. Recently on this channel I uploaded a video giving my thoughts on the upcoming Double Dragon game that is supposedly set to be released in 2025. In my initial coverage of this game, I spoke about the trailer and gave my thoughts on the new direction it seems that Arc System Works are allowing the franchise to be brought in, and if I am honest, I expressed a lot of concern regarding what was on display. Holding such opinions in mind, now that it seems that early gameplay footage has been leaked of the title, it might have you wondering whether I am feeling more confident or more skeptical regarding this one's future as the release date approaches. Well, let's find out. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Big Daddy Top Hat here. This is the Double Dragon Revive gameplay footage leaks. Yeah. If you're familiar with my YouTube channel, you probably know that I'm one of the most passionate advocates for the Double Dragon franchise. I've not only played and reviewed every game in the series, but I've also created an extensive multi-hour deep dive that explores each title in one comprehensive session. After all, these games are more than just nostalgic relics. They deserve meticulous documentation because Double Dragon laid the foundation for the cooperative beat-em-up genre as we know it. For this reason, the brand should be treated with reverence and respect whenever a new game carrying the Double Dragon name is being crafted. Just like the simply stupendous Double Dragon Gaiden that came out last year, for example, which happens to be one of the most fun, must-play modern beat-em-ups around. I can get you 55% off this amazing title and up to 90% off of thousands of others, simply with the use of my affiliate link. So grab dozens of bargains now and support my work simultaneously. Happy shopping! Despite Double Dragon's groundbreaking role in shaping one of the most iconic arcade genres of the 1980s, there is no doubt that the Double Dragon series has had a rocky journey in terms of quality. The franchise's offerings have ranged from absolutely stellar to some of the worst gaming experiences I've ever had, which, to be completely fair, makes me more than a little apprehensive about the upcoming installment. On July 10th, 2024, Gematsu would publish an article on their website stating that Arc System Works had announced that Double Dragon Revive is coming, a new Double Dragon game coming to modern hardware. They would report and reveal first seen in Japan's weekly Famitsu that would add that according to the magazine, the new game faithfully reproduces the thrill of old school side-scrolling action games with updated controls and difficulty settings for the modern era and utilising Arc System Works' fighting game development experience. Jimmy Lee, Billy Lee, Roper, Abobo and more will appear in stylish 3D. The magazine article would include a few screenshots of the game, however, we would soon get to witness a trailer firsthand, revealing to us all a little more about the game. The trailer starts with a shot zooming out of the original Double Dragon arcade game being played on an old beat-up cabinet. After being presented with the Arc System Works logo, the trailer dynamically transitions to the Lee brothers springing into action. As highlighted by Eurogamer, according to the accompanying press release, Double Dragon Revive promises renewed stylish character graphics with arcade favourites recreated in 3D, plus the ultimate belt scroll experience and thrilling strategic action. They would go on to promise that we will be able to experience the same simple and intuitive gameplay of the classics with controls and balance refined for the modern era. In relation to the brawling mechanics present, they add that adaptation and variety will be required due to this apparently being more than a simple button masher, encouraging gamers to delve into the strategy by learning enemy patterns and finding the most effective attack timings. Players are also encouraged to seize the upper hand in battle using a variety of weapons and stage features. After reading these articles and witnessing the trailer myself, I along with many others were left scratching our heads over some of this. As after all, with so many modern, beautiful sprite-based beat-em-ups all being out there and proving themselves popular, then why does the Double Dragon Revive trailer showcase a polygonal game? Even more disturbingly, it looks like a polygonal game that features extremely wooden looking models, which wouldn't look out of place in a mobile game. The trailer made this title essentially look like the makings of cheap crap rather than a work of love. Attempting to look on the bright side, I of course realised that all I had seen so far was a trailer, and the final gameplay we receive could end up being completely different. However, out of the blue this week, I have been able to see actual gameplay footage of this title in development, and if I am honest, I am even less confident than I was previously. Still, before I give my thoughts on what I have seen, you're probably wondering where these potential leaks have come from in the first place. I personally found footage of Double Dragon Revive turn up in my suggestions via a small YouTube channel known as The Flying Kick. They appear to have uploaded a lot of videos on beat 'em ups, so go subscribe to them if you're into that sort of thing. They only have 2,000 subs so far, so why not help them double dragon that number? As for the Double Dragon Revive gameplay footage itself, a camera has filmed a monitor of a demo of the future title in action. According to the YouTuber who has procured this footage, he reports that the footage was sent to him by a friend from China after being spotted on the Chinese site Bilibili. The demo was showcased on an event floor in China just a few days ago, and apparently someone has filmed it and uploaded it to the internet. Once again, I will reiterate that you might want to subscribe to The Flying Kick, as they provided some great commentary providing extra context behind this footage. They point out that before gameplay even commences, the first screen greets players with a language selection menu offering options in traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, English and Japanese. This instantly highlights that the demo can already be experienced in multiple languages and is likely being made set to be available to play around other expos around the world. The brothers in the demo are presented in the franchise's new mobile game-esque graphical style, one of which the models seem to sort of be inspired in a crude sort of way by Street Fighter 6. As for the designs of Bimmy and Jimmy themselves, artistically they seem to have a lot in common with the protagonists of the fighting game Rage of the Dragons for the Neo Geo. A title, believe it or not, was intended to be a Double Dragon game itself before the developers failed to acquire the right licensing. So on the positive side at least, that's one cool callback. The gameplay footage shows that an option is available to choose alternate colours for the characters. The Flying Kick also highlights another select screen, with them crudely translating that the first stage is titled Warehouse Street, followed by the Dojo or the Lair, with the third stage being the boss battle. While it would be extremely cool to see each of these sections in action with our own eyes, all we have to go off out of these at the moment is the boss fight, so let's cover what we can. Building on the Flying Kick's observations, he points out that we can learn a lot from the screen, showing the controller setup. The Xbox controller on the screen indicates that you've got your usual weak and strong attacks, a low attack and something that translates to an anti-air attack. There's also a back attack, a grab button and a full arsenal of special moves at your disposal. Cross-referencing this with the gameplay at hand, the special moves seem to be linked to a meter represented by glowing orbs near the playable character's life bar. The footage also reveals that characters have two types of jumps depending on whether you tap or hold the button, with the same going for strong attacks with swift dashes also being possible. Recalling that the character designs have similarities with those from Rage of the Dragons, with polygon models looking like Street Fighter 6 characters from Wish, inspiration, control-wise, is almost certainly being drawn from fighting games. Which isn't a bad thing considering the legendary Streets of Rage 2 took inspiration from Street Fighter 2 mechanically. The boss fight present itself is against Roper, aka Machine Gun Willie, depending on which game you play in the series and within what region. As for the stage design, what can be seen looks accurate to the source material, and essentially how one would imagine Bimmy and Jimmy's universe to look being modelled in 3D. So kudos to the developers there. Nothing looks wrong with the game on this side of things, with a demo presented in the same sort of dystopian style you would expect as you rage through the streets in a final fight to carry out a vendetta. But as dandy as this aspect of the game looks, the problems from what we can see with the footage further confirms the issues we could previously identify from watching the trailer. Each character model in the game moves strangely, looks wooden, stiff and awkward. The animation certainly isn't close to the quality you would expect to be found in a modern game found on a console. As stated in my previous upload, the graphics match closer with the cheap sort of mobile games you find mass produced in China. Highlighting one of the Flying Kick's opinions once more, he notices that it strongly resembles the terrible mobile game based on Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, a title I didn't even know existed until watching that video. So out of morbid curiosity, maybe I should try that one soon. While most of the greatest beat-em-ups of all time can be played in 2D, the demo highlights that Revive looks to differ somewhat from the norm in the gameplay department. The Flying Kick highlights that while usually you only play beat-em-ups using the X-axis, in Revive you use the Y one as well. But despite this apparent freedom, the game still forces the fights to stay locked on the X-axis. In the footage you can see Jimmy begin his attack while moving away from the camera, yet the game pulls both characters back to that X-axis battle line. It's different to say the least. Actual bugs can be witnessed in the gameplay too, but bearing in mind this is only a demo, you would expect those to be gone in the retail release. However, it's the awkward looking wooden movement that I find hard to believe won't continue to exist in the finished version of the game. As I've already stated, after watching the trailer, I felt that the graphics made Double Dragon Revive look like a mobile game, and now that I have seen gameplay footage, I now believe it looks more like a mobile game than ever before. So to say I'm concerned about the quality of this one would be a massive understatement. Despite my reservations, one thing I will say though, it was at least cool to see more of the game in action and what is being cooked up, even if it's not as much towards my taste as I would like. Still, I like to moan, but at least we have Double Dragon Gaiden, eh? The best new Double Dragon game we've received in years. I truly hope that Revive turns out better than I expect, but until then, I'll continue to enjoy the greatness that Gaiden delivers to me, which by the way, let me reiterate, you can enjoy it and get 55% off of the usual price, as well as gain huge bargains on thousands of other titles simply by using my affiliate link. That one is bloody amazing. Happy shopping, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheerio!